We took this custom apparel brand from losing thousands of dollars in ad spend every single month to booking 123 sales meetings, signing 25 plus new clients, and adding an additional $75,000 in pipeline revenue in less than 4 months just using cold email. And in this video, we're going to be doing a client case study interview with Matt Albrizio from Forever Fierce.
So I know this is not our first time getting to Juice, obviously, but would you mind just sharing with everyone listening here today who you are, what you do, and how long you guys have been in business over at Forever Fierce?
Sure. My name is Matt Albrizio. I'm with Forever Fierce. We are an apparel company that helps gym owners scale, print, design merchandise for their gym members. And our company's been around for 15 plus years. I've been in the sales role for 11 years. And that's pretty much it for now. But I really want to talk about what we were doing and how we found you guys and that whole origin story, because it's a very random, funny story, but how I found and came across you guys. But I'm really excited to share more about how impactful you guys have been for us.
Yeah, likewise. And for anybody who's looking at getting some custom shirts, like me and Troy are rocking them right now, the Buzz Lead gear, and I wear it every single day. Literally got 5 pairs, wear it every day, and definitely check them out at Forever Fierce. But Matt, just jumping right into things. We've been working together since July. I think that's when we launched our first campaign. And I just looked at the report of statistics. And since July, when we launched that first campaign, we booked you 119 sales meetings with different gym owners.
Yeah.
Now, obviously that's a whole lot of volume, but we want to talk towards like the quality of those meetings. Like, how many clients have you closed so far? Or how many clients do you expect to close, just of that first 4 months of outreach that we've done for you guys?
Yeah, so I'm expecting, again, at a low estimate, at least 28 of those jobs to close here within the next couple of weeks. Obviously, they've closed throughout that time period, but at least 28 hard ones. And then I'm expecting to hear from some of these people we spoke with, another 25 to 30 within the next 6 to 8 months. So we've taken more of a long tail approach to this, and it's one of those things too, where our process isn't like selling memberships or selling, getting people locked into a contract. There's a few more steps in our process in terms of getting the design set, sending samples, collecting the orders for our clients. So our process is a little bit more, like our close time, it takes about 30, 40 days for people to close from the time we place that first call. So it's not as like instantaneous, but, I think from the long tail approach, again, the lead quality too is something that's really remarkable. It's, like in the past, we always did the Facebook, Instagram ad stuff, and the lead quality it wasn't there. It's a lot of tire kickers and people who are just like, I don't know, price, and it's like, I don't want to talk to those people. I really want to talk to really warm leads. And, Nick has spent an incredible amount of time combing through data, Google Maps stuff, like really combing through the data, not just like going through like some other website to pull like easy, quick leads from. So he's been combing through stuff. Troy's been working on the wording and the offer we put together as well. So it's not just like generic ChatGPT stuff. So I feel like we just have like a really good system going right now. And the offer, the clients, the leads, all that stuff has been great. But back to your original question, I would say at least 50, 60 of those leads are super hot and warm.
Heck yeah. And 50 to 60, I mean, that's I guess like looking at your clientele, like what is the average, like, I guess revenue like each of those clients would bring in over the course? Because I know it is a little different. They order t-shirts in batches. They could be seasonal items. On average, do you have an idea of like what a typical client brings in over the course of a year?
Yeah, like a lifetime value of a client might be anywhere between $2,500 to $5,000 a year. So that, if they place 3 to 5 orders with us, and that's huge, and this is all stuff that we plan to keep these people on track. No one's had a bad experience yet. Everyone's been super thrilled with the final product and everything. So I don't have any reason to believe why these people aren't coming back. We made this process very easy for them, and it's been a great experience through and through for everyone.
I love that. And I know my fiance goes to an F45 location, and we ran that targeted F45 campaign, and she's actually bought some other F45 gear from those locations we got. So it's funny to see the actual impacts at home. And I know we started out this conversation, you mentioned you had a really funny story from when you came across Buzz Lead. I guess, would you mind kind of sharing how you came across Buzz Lead, and maybe what were some of those challenges that prompt you into evaluating a partnership like this?
Yeah, so I was on Twitter in July, and I was following someone on Twitter, and they were like, oh, here's like my 5-step cold email thing. And look, I've always messed around with cold email. And I think most business owners do this where you just email people from your Gmail account and you say, hey, I'd like to work with you, or I see you have a cool gym or a cool business. Here's what we do. And then when I saw someone here's my cold email strategy, I was like, wait a second, there's a real way to do this. I had no idea about multiple inboxes and copy and all these websites where you could pull all this data from. So I was like, there's a real system out there. So I was actually on a website and Nick was one of the testimonials. And I was like, I don't know if these guys are legit. Let me reach out to this dude and see if he's even a real person. So I reached out to Nick. I was like, hey dude, I saw you as a testimonial. Do you still believe in this company and work with them? And he's like, I don't currently work with them, but I kind of do my own thing now. So if you're interested in learning more about us, here's how we do things, check it out. Let me know if you're interested on a call. And I was like, okay, let's do that. And you know what? I jumped on a call with the original business I was researching, and the guys weren't interested at all. They were just kind of like, yeah, here's the system. You want to join? I was like, doesn't sound like you're too interested. And then I jumped on the phone with you guys and you were like, here's the idea I have. I did some research. We have background in apparel. Here's how we can make this easier. Here's the cost. Let's do it. And I was like, sold. Someone who actually did the research coming into the call and stuff. It was so refreshing. I've worked with a lot of marketing agencies, and when you work with marketing agencies, they're very, very lazy. They just want you to say yes and, oh, we got you all these impressions. And, the one thing I love about your business model is you guys really don't get paid unless you produce results, so, and we haven't had that problem, you guys have gotten paid with this, and you guys have definitely deserved it. But it's not like these marketing agencies will be like, oh yeah, we got you 100,000 impressions. It's like, well, how many sales do we have? 5. Okay, well, that doesn't really move the needle for us. So, I think it was just funny though how I came across you guys. I was researching another company, Nick's the testimonial, front center page, here's our wonderful client, and it's like, maybe you should change that slide out or check with that dude before promoting him. But yeah, it was just so funny how things come back around.
Yeah.
And talking about full circle, it's just funny too, because one of the things and reasons why Troy and I really did want to work with you is because we knew we were going to crush it. Y'all had a great offer, but then the background story of me and Troy first starting to work together was selling t-shirts. So we were like, this is it. We got to work with these guys. And
Right.
It's been a fun partnership to this point. And obviously you've had your calendar full. You had a baby, and then you came back from the week off and you had 33 sales calls booked in 1 week. And it's been a little crazy.
Being thrown into the fire that week. Waking up 3 o'clock, changing diapers, doing sales calls, changing diapers in between sales calls.
As if you didn't have enough going on already.
Yeah, and this week they're like, the doctor told me, he's like, peak fussiness for babies is week 6. We're on week 6. Meanwhile, my calendar's full for the next 2 days with sales calls. We're booking more sales calls through the week. It's just like, you're like, I wonder if this is going to slow down, And I think, Nick was a little worried about the data. He's like, I don't know. There's only so many gym owners in America, right? And he was like, I don't know if we have as much data as we have, but the data we have has been red hot. The people we jump on these calls with, they're very interested. There's very little tire kicking, and it's not the super price sensitive people you think might jump on a call. So that's why it's been a lot more effective for us.
Yeah. And one thing that I want to ask is just around some of the, because I know that you all have been in business for 15 years. I think that you had mentioned you've been with them for 11 years, give or take. What were some of those challenges, I guess, that you all had with just outbound marketing and getting new client acquisition, prior to working with BuzzLead, and how do we address some of those challenges?
Yeah, I think, as these markets start to mature, our niche was gym owners. And for a while, there was only a couple companies tailoring stuff to gym owners for custom apparel. We've had other people move into the space, which is natural, and that's okay. But, in the past, we were really reliant on partnerships. And, when it comes to partnerships, some years are more fruitful than others, and you're kind of at the mercy of the partner to promote you. And their interests change, and how much they want to promote you changes. It's not very consistent. So, we've had great partners who have always promoted us to their members. Two Brain Business has always been amazing to us. Push Press has always been amazing to us. And, before we jumped in with other partners and sort of looked to go down that route, because it gets more and more expensive every year for that stuff. And it's like, what can we do to be a little bit more self-reliant, right? Like we were very reliant on partners promoting us and external people, but what can we do to be a little bit more self-reliant and resilient? Because at the end of the day too, a partnership can disappear, prices jump too much and it doesn't make sense anymore. But what can we do to just be a little bit more on our own? And I think personally for me, I've always wanted to prove it to myself that, not in a bad way. I know one of our partners is going to look at this and be like, whoa, why'd you say that? But I don't want to rely on anyone. I want to prove it to myself that I could generate customers on my own without having to lean on anyone. And, again, the partners we have are amazing. I love working with them. It's just one of those things for me personally. I want to prove it that we have a good system and good options in case partners change, situations change, and we can go out there without it really impacting our business too much.
Yeah, and I think last time you and I spoke, you mentioned that there's a significant price increase for some of these partnership networks. And see that with business referral programs as well, that Nick had the previous life in working with a payroll company. And so I guess like reflecting there, this might seem a little self-intuitive, but like how has BuzzLead helped you tackle this challenge? Is it just becoming more self-sufficient at this point and having that stream run on autopilot?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously good when you see results from this stuff, right? Like everyone's put a lot of time and energy and effort thinking about this stuff. And, I think, like I said, just knowing that there are other options out there, because right now I think a lot of business owners struggle with, in terms of lead generation, it's like partnerships, Facebook ads, that's it, or like SEO. And it's like, okay, like good luck with that, dude. You're not going to win SEO like that right now, especially with all the stuff that's going on with AI. So I think for this is probably, and look, cold calling, door knocking, people have been doing this for 100 years or more, dude. Like it's just changed in the different types of ways it's been administered, but it's been the most fruitful thing we've done in a really, really long time. Again, we were working with social media agencies a couple years ago. We did that for like 3 or 4 years and it got no results, dude. It was just going nowhere. And it was always like it was like a maze. You jump on the phone with these people like, okay, where are the results? And it's always like, oh, you're not doing it right. Oh, you need to increase your spending. Oh, you need to try this. And it's like, there was always an excuse like, oh, you're not doing enough video. The videos aren't funny enough. You need to do a TikTok dance. It's like, dude, like we're not TikToking to sell t-shirts, dude. Like we just need some like, look, here's the offer. Is this valuable to you? And I think the wording and offering we've come up with is just, again, it's been really valuable to people. Like we're looking to help and take this process off their plate. It's not a high value task for gym owners and they don't want to spend a lot of money on apparel. They want it to be something for their members to wear. It's a bonus added thing. And I feel like the wording and offer we have now has just been a home run.
Yeah, no, I can agree to that. I mean, I think we've seen a progression each and every month. We started off hot and it's just kind of been like going up and up like a rocket ship at this point. And one of the things that is really special and cool, unique about like cold email, it's like, if you have the offer down, the copywriting down, it's literally just like, who can I get this in front of? And
Right.
so like we've taken some unique approaches where, you all have worked with all different types of businesses, but one example that Troy had mentioned with F45, you randomly were like, hey, let's try to do a campaign going after F45 gyms. And here at BuzzLead, I was able to scrape that data. We launched a campaign and we were able to book a ton of F45 gyms, but it's almost like that same approach that we've been taking, that simplistic approach. We're just like, all right, who do we want to get in touch with? How many people do we need to reach to get a certain amount of meetings on a monthly basis? And it's just been kind of fun seeing how everything has like evolved with that. Is there anything particularly unique that you would mention about our approach with lead generation in comparison to some of the other partners, I guess, that you've worked with?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, the pay for performance. Like, again, I think that's a really unique thing. Yeah, there's a tech retainer, but it's really reasonable and nominal. I think the for the performance stuff is huge. There's not a lot of companies right now that are willing to do that. And, in the marketing game, I hate to say it, but it's a lot of scammy stuff. It's a lot of fly-by-night people and people who are just like, give me a bunch of money and we'll get you impressions. It's like, that doesn't matter, dude. You have to get sales. You have to get people on the phone and give yourself a chance. And I think just putting yourself out there, because I know that's tough from running a business when it's based on performance only. I know that too. So I respect people who do that. And then you guys are uniquely engaged with every client. And, I have other people I've referred you to who I've talked to them and been like, hey, what do you think of them? And they're like, those guys are like in our business, like it's like almost like they're like actual employees. And I know you guys are like a service provider for us, but it's like almost like you guys are part of our team, like it's like you guys are engaged. When we have a meeting, it's not like, what do we want to talk about? Like we're always like workshopping ideas and what do you think of this? Like the communication's great. And again, I work with a lot of businesses, and I will tell you that, again, most of the people you're dealing with are not very engaged. They don't care. They just want your money, and then whatever you do afterwards is up to you. But I mean, these guys really do care. And if you've never worked with a business like this, you'll wonder why you didn't do it earlier, and you'll feel very stupid why you didn't reach out or even try this earlier. But again, that's priceless. It's hard to find people who care about the service and the end product and results. So that would be my thing to anyone sort of looking to jump on a call, is like, if you're tired of feeling just like a number, or you're working with a social media agency that's not engaged, or you're doing it yourself, like I'm telling you, these two guys that are going to do it for you, they're going to do it 100 times better than you can do it, or any other agency you can find who can do it. So I would definitely book a call and see what you guys can do to help them.
Well, thank you, Matt. That is the best recommendation. If I could just have you on all my sales calls doing that, my life was going to be infinitely easier from here on out. Definitely a recommendation.
Again, I work with there's a lot of shitty business owners out there, and I hate to curse, but I probably shouldn't have done that for the YouTube algorithm. But I'll tell you that there's a lot of bad business owners out there, and a lot of people who aren't engaged. And while you guys still have the fire and the passion for this, that's the thing, right? Like, this isn't just something y'all do from 9 to 5. It's pretty clear you guys are thinking about this all the time, looking to tweak stuff, looking to update stuff. And, even like the school course, it's pretty clear once you jump into that course, like, this is not easy just to do on your own. You really need to know what you're doing. It's very detail oriented. And for a business to put that much effort into another person's business, it's a really special thing. It's a really rare thing.
Yeah. We appreciate the bilateral partnership that we share here, and just helping each other's businesses to grow and succeed. Hands out one of our favorite clients that we get to work with, and we talk to you like every single day. So it's great.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
Great.
It's been, again, I always tell the guys, because we have a team, obviously it's my brother and 2 cousins who own the company technically. And they're like, they're always asking like, how's everything going? Are you still happy with everything? I'm like, this is going great, dude. It's like having 2 A players on your team where you don't have to worry about what they're doing. I just know you guys are thinking about this. And if you guys think of something that can be improved, no worries, go ahead, get out of your way and let you guys do your thing, and, just improve this stuff. And, like, there's even like little things that you guys aren't even connected with. Like right now we're working on, there's one thing that if I could go back on, I probably should have had a better system for follow-ups post-call. And I've been building that process out right now. And I mean, you guys have been super helpful about brainstorming ideas, workshopping ideas on how to improve the follow-up process. Because I think with, all cold email, you look at the stats, you're going to close about anywhere between 20 to 30% of those cold calls. And, the art is in the follow-up with these people. Like, how can you really get people to take action? And I guess the only thing I would share to people who are like on the fence is, make sure you have a good follow-up plan, but let these guys tell you what the follow-up plan should be. Because if you're just jumping on calls and saying, oh, let us know if you're interested in using our service, that's not going to work. Like, you really need to think about the follow-through. And if I could go back in time, knowing what I know now, I would have had a better plan for that, but we're fixing that right now. And I really think that the investment we're making in this follow-up sequence is going to pay huge dividends. So I cannot wait to launch this thing. I got a meeting to get the system in and done on Thursday. I cannot wait to share it with you guys and just get people back on the boat, get people on board to working with us and showing them how easy it can be. And if there's one thing I would suggest that people think about with this process is just, have a follow-up system, think about that ahead of time, and really think about how this all fits into the grand scheme of the customer journey.
Yep, exactly. And the funny thing about our customer journey, and like what you touched on is we try to get really ingrained with our clients' businesses, because what we found is that the pie just gets bigger at the end of the day. Because if we can help you initially get more sales, follow up on those sales, and close more deals, we're all just going to make a lot more money and have a lot more fun doing it. And so it's funny you bring up the follow-up part, because another one of our customers that we're likely going to have another case study on here soon enough, teasing that onto the YouTube channel a little bit here, is he just said one of the best pieces of sales advice he's gotten in the past 10 years was something that I gave him, of just always having a follow-up meeting set on the calendar, and like how to word that conversation. And it sounds like there's a lot of meat and potatoes that we can get here with the follow-up side of things to get you more money, get our clients more money, and help everyone just be successful at the end of the day.
Right.
So.
Again, it's been, just having you guys to bounce those ideas off of, because you guys are on this marketing stuff too. You know, like you guys are clearly doing your homework, watching YouTube videos, keeping up to date with all the relevant new stuff that's people are doing. So again, it takes a lot of stuff off my plate because I do my own research, but having people to talk to about this stuff and really bounce ideas off of from a theoretical and then practical sense is supremely helpful.
Yep.
Okay. And we look at this as, you know, a true partnership and not just a transactional thing like a lot of agencies. All they care about is the money they're making, the number of meetings that they're booking, but they don't care about the quality or the stuff that goes deeper than that. And one thing that you mentioned that really stood out is just like you feel like we're actually a part of the business. And Troy and I, you know, we value that very highly, and it's a big thing that we try to do. Like when people hire us, we want people to know, like, you're basically hiring two former account executives in tech sales that have now shifted to lead gen. And of course, we're going to help you with the lead side of things, but we also have that sales background to help you kind of capitalize on all that volume that comes in. So I think that's a testament to, you know, what we've been trying to do and what we're going to continue getting better at.
Right.
And to just kind of like, you know, wrap things up, I've got to ask you, Matt, I know you've already recommended us a couple times, but to anybody who hasn't seen or heard of any of us before, would you recommend BuzzLead to any other businesses out there looking to scale with cold email?
Yes, and you're dumb if you don't get on a call with these guys to see what they can do for your business, because they'll be honest with you. They might say, you know what, this is a niche we just can't help in service, but I think you guys are going to be extremely impressed once you jump on a call and see how much research they do ahead of time, the plan they come up with, the plan of attack, you know, the complexity of sending out emails and email deliverability. It's not just about hitting send on an email and it landing in someone's inbox. Like, Nick spends an insane amount of time thinking about this and structuring it to make sure those emails actually get there. And I would absolutely make sure that, you know, you book a call, take the time to do your research and hear what the guys have to say. Because again, we haven't regretted this at all. And we've paid you guys a bunch of money since we started. So there's never been a time where the guys have been like, are we getting our return on this? Like, it's always been like, this is the best money we've spent in a long, long time. So
Thank you. Thanks.
One thing I want to add about cold email, and this is one thing I forgot to mention is that we have been also viewing this internally as a targeted awareness campaign. Now, you know, when you see a lot of marketing today, it's all about impressions and look how many people watch the video for a certain amount of time. But for us, we've found that this has been like the sniper shot of awareness, you know, where we can get in front of other clients where even if they're super cold right now, like, oh, I didn't know you guys existed, I didn't know you guys did this, even if they're not, like, it's not the right time now, at least they know, like, okay, these guys exist, we know where to go when we're ready to start this project. And I've had a one-to-one conversation with these people, and I found that that's a great way of looking at this too. So even if, like, I think people are always worried about like startup costs when you do things like this. Like, what's the startup cost? Mm-hmm. What's the return? Like, you know, you can't get too wrapped up in that real fast. So you have to think of this as a very targeted awareness campaign that's a lot more effective than just someone watching an Instagram reel for 0.3 seconds and it counting as a view. Like, that's not realistic, dude. You know, like jumping on a call with someone, introducing yourself and saying, here's what we do, here's how we can help. Even if we're not a good fit right now, when you are ready, we are here for you. It goes a long way. Get them in your email drip, and now you have a short and a long-term nurture as well. And again, you know, really, really think about the customer journey side of things and not just, I'm jumping on a bunch of sales calls every week. It's really about the customer journey. And there's a lot of different ways to look at this rather than just getting random people on the phone.
Random people on the phone. Yeah, exactly. And I love that we have those nurture sequences built out new. So if now's not the right time, at least later down the road will be. And to your point, it's just laser targeted ads at the end of the day. And you're just intercepting somebody in their place of business, not when they're scrolling on TikTok trying to send memes to their friends. Like we
right.
Sure.
Yeah,
right.
right.
So
And
right time, right place.
And to some people that might not understand what that whole like building awareness essentially is, like cold email is your chance to literally target the exact people that you want in your ecosystem. And once they get aware and, you know, we schedule a meeting or push them into being an interested prospect, those people are then dumped into the Forever Fierce funnel as an example. And now those people continue getting nurtured through an email list or through different ads. But the cold email is what originally gets those people to know that you exist. And then everything else falls into place to nurture them and turn them into prospects. Maybe not today, but down the road. And it's exciting to see what y'all are doing with Go High Level and your plans of building out your funnel moving forward. Because it's like, this has been the first 4 or 5 months of our journey together. Cold email is a compounding game. So imagine where it's going to be a year from now when all of a sudden those drip sequences are really having their effect. Just exciting to see because it's really it's a true partnership. It's not just a 2 to 3 month churn and burn type of deal.
Right.
A lot of success coming ahead of us. So
Right. I'm excited for it. We're going to have you guys around for a long time. We're looking forward to just continue building this out. And, you know, the sky's going to be the limit with this. I think a lot of competitors of ours are going to be shocked when they sort of see like, oh, how did we lose that client? It's like, I'm going to tell you how, because we targeted these people, we blanketed them, and we provided a lot of value, and we got in front of them just as quick as we could. So again, it'll be fun once people figure out what we're doing. But for a while, we've been flying under the radar. And, you know, that's another thing, you know, too, you kind of fly under the radar with cold email where your competitors don't really know you're doing it. You know, like they can't really see it publicly. It's not like you're putting out a ton of Facebook ads and then you have to match someone dollar for dollar and that stuff. So it's pretty under the radar and stealthy. And by the time your competition realizes they lost a ton of clients, it's almost too late. So I'm really looking forward to that. I know we have a lot of fun stuff planned targeting other people's clients over the next couple months or so. And I'm really, really excited about that part.
Yeah. And it certainly helps when you got a killer offer too. So for all the competition out there, it sounds like you just got to watch out.
Right.
Cool. Thanks, Matt.
All right, guys.
thanks so
Appreciate
much,
it.
Matt.